everyone. My name is Judith Mulamba. I am a nursing student at Kwantlen Polytechnic University, and today I have the pleasure to present you all the topic on healthy eating and healthy sleeping approach for seniors. So how the presentation is going to happen is it's going to be divided into two parts. So first we're going to talk about healthy eating approach for seniors, and then we're going to talk about the second portion, which is healthy sleeping approach for seniors. And I do have my notes with me down here. So if I'm looking down, it's because of that. So let's get started. In order to understand better healthy eating approaches, we have to ask ourselves a few questions. So number one, we're going to talk about why do we need to eat well and the importance of eating well. Number two, why am I facing difficulties to eat better at my age? Three, what approaches can I utilize to eat healthier as a senior? And lastly, we'll talk about what are realistic goals that I can meet. So to dive in, why do we need to eat well? We need to eat well because eating well is important to maintain, improve your overall health, and it helps you to stay strong. Sorry, there you go. It also provides you with the energy that is necessary for you to stay active and feel your best. So examples of ways that you can stay active could be as simply as walking around the block, playing with children, grandchildren, volunteering, serving, or for some of you, it may also be going to work. And essentially not eating well will result in stopping you from doing the things that you want to do. And what that means is when you're not eating properly, for example, it could be junk food, processed food, just food that aren't healthy. It can give you a lack of motivation because your body will feel it. Your body will know when you've eaten something that either you've eaten too much of something that you're not supposed to eat or too little of something. Your body won't have the energy that it needs in order to move around. It could be as going from one point of the house to the other point of the house. So that's why eating well is also important. As well as there's been different Canadian researches that have all shown and all concluded that eating healthier helps in preventing chronic diseases. And examples of chronic diseases are heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancers. Therefore, a poor diet and a poor lifestyle can lead to these common illnesses. And these common illnesses are common here in our Canadian population. And they've also concluded that as you grow older, your nutritional needs and appetites need to grow and change as well. In order to age well, you need to eat well. Therefore, eating and aging, they really go hand in hand. There's certain things out of our control, and aging is different for everyone. Some people experience it earlier, some people experience it later, but there are basic facts that come with eating that can help and strengthen you with the basic facts of aging. And here are three basic facts. One, weight changes due to being less active. Therefore, your body may lose muscle and gain fat. Two, bones and joints change. As you grow older, bones become smaller in size and easily break. Joints become stiffer along the way. And three, taste, thirst, and digestion. All these three things start to dim with age, which brings a loss of appetite, eating less interesting, and you also have a lack of thirst. And so with these basic facts with aging, what you eat can contribute in improving your muscle and improving and strengthening your bone density and improving your taste and your thirst and your digestion. I want to share an interesting fact that I found while doing research. And according to Health in BC, if everyone simply ate 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, the current cancer rate could be reduced by as much as 20%. 20% is a big number, especially since cancer is a very common illness and disease that we have here in Canada. So just by knowing that you eating 5 to 10 servings of fruit can help you reduce that rate, it's very big. It's very interesting. Also, it doesn't take into consideration that if you do have family history of cancer, you are more prone to it. But this is just the basic knowledge of what or how important eating can contribute in reducing certain chronic illnesses. Now we're moving on to why am I facing difficulties to eat better at my age? With all the different approaches available, it is normal for many older adults to find eating well challenging. According to Public Health Canada, they've concluded that eating healthy seems more challenging for many. And a reason as to why it seems more challenging for many is because of all the different approaches that are available. Now, it's a good thing that there's different approaches available because it takes into consideration those who may have health restrictions or allergies. And health restrictions could be such as being vegetarian, pescatarian, gluten-free, lactose intolerant. So it really caters to so many different types of dietary needs. So that's why it may be difficult for a lot of older adults or even everyone in general to know what is good for them and what is bad for them. They've also concluded that there's a decline in food tastes, resulting in a loss of interest. So with all these different things and resources that are out there, I've inserted a link and a phone number at the bottom of the screen for more additional information from professionals. You can call the dietitian services at Health in BC, or you can also visit their website. If that requires too much, you can even talk to your physician, your family doctor, so that they can help you choosing a better lifestyle, a better nutritional guideline for you to know what to eat better for you if you do have difficult times. Also, as well as COVID-19 is one of the presented many challenges, especially when it came to being healthy at home. At the beginning of the pandemic, the restrictions that were put in place caused for a lot of people, if not everyone, to stay at home, which meant doing less in terms of being able to step out freely. And essentially doing less has a huge negative impact on your physical and your mental health. Because of that, because of these restrictions and staying at home all the time, eating healthier during the confinement period presented challenges at first. Number one, especially if you are immune compromised, doing groceries may not have been your main concern. And number two, if you are living alone and you're having difficulty stepping out because number one, you're not comfortable with the situation that we're in, or number two, if you don't have means of transportation to go do groceries. But there are safe ways that were put in place in order for you to be able to grocery shop safely. And thanks to World Health Organization, they created this poster at the beginning of the pandemic, which shows how can I grocery shop safely in the time of COVID-19. I'll put myself here, okay. And when grocery shopping, keep at least 1 meter distance from others and avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. If possible, sanitize the handles of shopping, trolleys, or baskets before shopping. Once home, wash your hands thoroughly and also after handling and storing your products. They've also said that there's no confirmed case of COVID-19 transmitted through food or packaging. And so even though the pandemic did present many challenges, it also showed even more why healthier eating approaches are very important. World Health Organization said, what we eat and drink can affect our body's ability to prevent, fight, recover from infections. And it's also important to know that there is no food, there is no dietary supplements or probiotics that will provide a cure for COVID-19. But what those things will do is that it will help support your immune system. Our body is like a well-oiled machine. If you feed it the wrong parts, eventually it will break down. And what that means is if we feed ourselves the wrong nourishments that we do not need, eventually our body will grow weak, and eventually it'll be easier for us to get sick and contact infections and break down, which means getting either chronic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, stroke, cancer, like we've mentioned before. Now moving on to What approaches can I utilize to eat as a senior? And so what approaches can I utilize to eat as a senior? It's important to take note that there is not only one way, but there's many approaches available that cater to different people. And so one of the easiest visual ways and approaches that you can take in order to eat better as a senior is by reading food labels. Or if that is a challenge, you can have a caregiver, a family member read them for you to help you choose healthier options. Now, why reading food labels is number one is because when you're reading food labels, it's helping you to choose which food is better compared to the other. There's certain things that are on the food labels that tells you the calories, what's in there, the ingredients. And so just by comparing the ingredients from one to another, it can help you make a better decision as to what you should eat and what your body needs. And so having someone there with you, a caregiver, a family member, um, or even reading it for yourself, is definitely going to help you make the better option. Another way, another approach that you can utilize to eat better is making use of Canada's food guide. And basically what Canada Food Guide is that it shows you the four main food groups that the body needs to stay well nourished. Following the guide also tells you how many servings you should have daily of each main food group. So here is what the Canadian Food Guide looks like. So as you can see on the picture, this is what the 2021 version looks like. And it shows you a plate, and there's 4 different food groups. So we do have our vegetables and fruits on one side, our proteins, and then we have our grains. And there's water on the side because you should always hydrate yourself. It's very important. And so this is what it looks like. So the food guide is different according to your age. There's some for kids, babies, adults, and older adults. So this is the 2021 version. So it helps you knowing how much you should have, what servings you should have. And for better clarity, the food guides, they're always working on updating it, making it better and easily comprehensive. This is what it used to look like a couple of years ago. So this is the original one that was seen everywhere, if it's more familiar to you. But as you can see, in the picture below, it is separated according to the 4 main food groups. And it gives you examples of what are in these food groups and what you should have more, what you should have less, and who should have more and who should have less, if that makes sense. Now we're moving on to the final portion of healthy approach for seniors is what are realistic goals that I can meet? What are realistic goals that I can meet? Now, the most important thing is healthy eating habits do not have to be difficult. We do not have to make it hard. They do not happen overnight. But something that you can consider is consider changing a few of your daily habits, which daily habits includes everything around you, everything in your surrounding. Consider changing a few of those, not all, but a few. These changes don't have to be huge. Start small, and over time, those small changes will become big impacts in your life. And here are realistic goals that you can decide on. So number one, you can tell yourself, okay, I'm going to eat 1 more fruit or vegetable today. Or you can say, I'm going to drink more glasses of water every day. Or you can choose to be more active. You can say, today I'm going to go for a walk. Today I'm going to do physical exercise. You can choose whole grain wheat for bread instead of white bread. And also something that's very important, you can choose to reduce the amount of oils in cooking. So you don't necessarily have to cut everything the same way. Start small by small. Like said in the previous slide, these small changes, once you make them a habit, over time, they will be a big impact in your daily life. Now we've moved on to the second portion of the presentation where we talk about healthy sleeping approach for seniors. And just like how aging affects food intake, aging also affects the way you sleep. According to medical doctor Leslie Kernisan, she says that it is also common for older adults to develop health problems that can cause sleep disturbance. And according to the AASM Medical Society, they have stated that older adults who have poor nighttime sleep are more likely to, one, have a depressed mood, two, attention and memory problem, three, excessive nighttime sleepiness, and four, excessive use of over-the-counter prescriptions, sleeping aids. And there's a quote that was mentioned in this research that says, poor sleep is equal to a poor quality of life. And another interesting fact that I would love to share with you all is, according to the government of Canada, Statistics Canada, 1 in 2 adults have trouble going to sleep or staying awake. 1 in 5 adults do not find their sleep refreshing, and 1 in 3 adults have difficulty staying awake during waking hours. And what are some healthy sleeping approaches that you can utilize? Number one, knowing how much sleep older adults require, and it varies from person to person. And so knowing how much sleep can help you know what is good for you. So Public Health Canada states that those within the age range of 18 to 64 need at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. And those that are 65 and older need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Good sleep habits are also known as sleep hygiene. And so another sleeping approach is number 2, be consistent in maintaining a regular bedtime. So make sure you go to sleep consistently at the same time or within the same hour. Number 3, review your medication with your physician, doctor, or pharmacist. And number 4, being active. And the reason as to why being active is a healthy sleeping approach is because it shows that if you're active during the day, if your body is moving, it is proven that it will be easier for you to fall asleep when it comes to nighttime. 5 is to turn off electronics before going to bed. According to this poster, it says remove your eyes from all devices at least 30 minutes before bed. Artificial light interferes with our production of melatonin, and melatonin ensures deep sleep and it helps regulate your metabolism. Tip number 6 would be to set your room to an appropriate temperature. And most people like to sleep when it's cool, other people sleep better at neutral temperatures, and some people like to sleep better when it's hot. And basically find what works best for you. If it's sleeping better when it's cool, reduce the amount of sheets that you have on, open the windows. If it's sleeping better when it's hot, layer up. Everybody has different ways of how they like to sleep at night. There's no wrong and there's no right way. And lastly, make the room as dark as possible. And that can be as covering your windows, adding an extra layer to them to make sure that there's no light going through them, facing your phone down. And what are some healthy sleeping approaches? Good sleep is a part of a healthy lifestyle. Please take note that if your sleeping problems do continue, please talk to a family doctor or a caregiver for additional assistance. And this concludes the presentation for today. I want to thank you all for taking your time to listening to the topic that was discussed today. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.